Welcome to Careless Coder. Today another episode of hacking in the Netherlands in the 80s and 90s. Hacking phone booths to make free phone calls. Motherfucker! So there were 3 hacks to make free phone calls in the thing that we had back then, phone booths. Now the phone booths in the Netherlands were operated by PTT. Initially they were grayish beige with a blue sign telephone on there, and later on they became bright poisonous green. They stood out like an eyesore, and a lot of them allowed you to make phone calls very, very easily. So here are the 3 methods that we used. So the first option that was pervasive until about the early 90s, 91, 92, were these old rotary phones that they would put in the phone booths, that you would put a quarter in and it would slide down and would sit there, and as soon as you dialed, the connection was made, it would consume your quarter, and as soon as there's another pulse, you need to add another quarter in there. Now the thing was, these systems were flawless with the pulse dialing PBXs. But as soon as PTT started to do tone dialing with the newer PBXs, and they hooked them over onto those tone dialing PBXs, something weird happened. Because you could fool them into thinking you were dialing without actually touching the rotary dial, and making the actual phone oblivious to the fact that it was being used. And the way you did that was just buy yourself, or in our case we made them, a DTMF tone generator. And you would just lift up the receiver, put in your quarter, and you just dial the number, you make your phone call, and you hang it up, and it would spit back the quarter to you. Like, perfect service, PTT. PTT was the Dutch Mabel. Thank you. Now that is service, right? And the irony is that this hack was already documented in 1983. It even made public news headlines. And yet PTT still installed rotary dial machines until 1989. Back then, not so much in their own phone booths, they already had the touchstones, but in private institutions. Our college, for example, still had that old rotary dial. So my hacker buddy Jelly and we would buy these stickers from Hectic that said, "Dit is een gratis belcel. This is a free phone cell, phone booth." And we would stick them underneath, so the initiated would look below or use a little mirror and go like, okay, take out my DTMF dialer, put in my quarter, make the call, hang up, get your quarter free. And the biggest problem was, in that case, Mabel, PTT didn't foot the bill, but the private institution, in this case, our college. With college fees, I was like, it's probably fine, right? It's not like we dialed the US every week, couple of hours. Sorry, Mr. Buys, I know I see you in the gym every week. I'm not going to confess this to you, because even though you're now 83 years old, I think you still might smack me. So the next one. The next one we called the Snippy Snip technique. Now in these phone booths, even the ones with the dial phone, there were what they called the foot shelf. It was basically a control box that had all the fuses in there, and people would put their foot on and talk like this. In that foot shelf is an earth wire, and it was shielded in a transparent shielding. Now the cost pulse was measured against earth. The phone itself operates over the AB line, so it doesn't require the earth. So if you manage to open up the foot shelf, you would snip the wire with the transparent shielding, throw in your quarter, dial, and you could make phone calls for free. Now opening up that box required what is called a service key. And I looked everywhere to find one of these old service keys to actually demonstrate how we did that. Ironically, I literally found one right across the street in one of the waste baskets where they store the dog poo. It is closed with an old service key. So what I did is I made my own key, and I used this stuff. No, it's not plastic, it's plumber epoxy. Oh my god, it's sticky. And what I would do is actually first make my own concoction, which is naphtha or benzene with Vaseline, petroleum jelly. And the petroleum jelly would dissolve in the naphtha. So I would have a little jar, have a little chip brush. As soon as it got there, I would wipe that along the lock, in the lock. And what would happen is the naphtha would evaporate, or the benzene, and would leave a tiny coating of Vaseline, petroleum jelly. That would prevent the plumber epoxy, because epoxy sticks to everything except silicone and oils, to stick in that lock and never be able to be removed. Then I would make a little bowl and push it into that lock. Made sure not to go around the flange too much. And then I took the piece of wire, put it diagonally, and coated that with plumber epoxy. And I would just stand and wait there, pretend to make a phone call for 15-20 minutes. When it was cold, easily half an hour, 45 minutes, wait until this stuff is cured. Then I would wedge it out, go back home, make it a bit nicer, sand it down, and it would fit perfectly. We could open that food shelf, take out a pair of pliers, cut the earth wire, and I always would bring a screw terminal for the simple reason to reconnect it again. Because if a phone booth doesn't generate any profit and they see it makes calls, they come and investigate. So yeah. Now, funny story, I wrote this up for my book, The 0 Day Kid. It's about a kid that gets into trouble, computer hacking in the US, and he actually creates one of these service keys to open up parking meters to get funds to pay for human traffickers to get him into Mexico. Because, yes, this service key also operated on parking meters.
Easy money, screw the government.
So even if we couldn't find a hackable phone, because they were somehow prevented, diodes were put in front of the mouthpiece, so you couldn't dial, for example, externally, we could still open a parking meter box, get out a handful of quarters, usually easily like 8 to 9 guilders, and have enough money to make free phone calls. So yeah, highly illegal. Making free phone calls, it was covered under the Telecommunication Fraud Act in the Netherlands. But actually opening up that food shelf would also constitute breaking and entering. Now, even for a juvenile, that carried juvenile sentences up to as much as 3 to 6 months. So yeah, don't get caught. That was the Snippy Snip technique. I loved that the most because it was so reliable. So the last hack we called the 007+1 hack. Because the number that you had to dial was 008. Now 008 was phone number information. Because in the past we had these shelves of phone books in the phone booth for every province. So you could find any listed phone number. So don't list your phone number. I never listed my phone number. The problem was that these phone booths would be set alight by hooligans and the whole phone booth would go up in flames. Massive damages. So they took out the phone booths. Now people still needed to find phone numbers because we didn't have little phones in our hands or Palm Pilots with all these numbers until the mid to late 90s. So sure, most phone booths allowed you to call 008. Now the great thing with 008 is that if you took out your DTMF dialer again, you dialed the number, as soon as the person answered, you would dial on the touch pad of the phone 008. And then the phone would think you only dialed 008. And it would spit back your quarter afterwards. This one stayed in service until about 94, 95. In 94 I still found a couple of touch phone booths that actually allowed this to be used. So yeah, that was a cool one. Now, some clever freakers in the Netherlands figured out that you could also dial for free countries that starts with 8. Because outgoing international calls here start with a 0. So 008. And I have a list here. 0081 was Japan. 0084 was Vietnam. 00886 was Taiwan. And the most expensive call you could make is a place called Inmarasat, which is 00872. And that would cost you 25 guilders per click. So probably nobody ever dialed Inmarasat. I haven't even heard of it before. So yeah, that is how we made free phone calls. And that basically was our hobby. I can't fathom the last time that I actually paid for a phone call in the Netherlands in a phone booth. And the funny thing is, we put these stickers on all these machines. I had bought 100 and Jelle bought 100. So every machine that we found, put one on. So yeah, man, those were fun times. And sorry, Mr. Buys, for running up your phone costs of the college. But hey, we paid for college, right? So hope you learned something. See you in the next one.